You are sharing your screen. Am I recording?
Oh, go on.
Pause recording. Okay, hi, my name is Andrea Earle, and today we're going to talk about how you can make connections with your students using Book Creator and Slides. Book Creator is a paid app, but there is a free version, and Slides obviously are free. So we're going to jump into our first activity. So if you haven't done so already, please go to app.bookcreator.com. Here's the join code. You're going to join my class or my library on Book Creator, okay? And for the students, I would set the time limit. About 15 minutes is what I'm going to give you. When you're in, oops, let me cancel that. So when you're in Book Creator, you're going to pick, you'll see that I've already created this book for you, and this is a shared book. Down at the little share options, I added collaboration so that everyone can work on the same book together. Now, of course, this does, I can see everybody that's signed in, okay? When you open it up, find yourself a clean page, any page you want. When you click inside, since this is a template, click inside, you can just click on the button and you can take a picture of yourself. See if I can do better this time. All right, good enough. Not great, but good enough. Or, see, and you have to be careful when you can move it using these arrows. So maybe I want to, oh, and it got my messy room behind me, so maybe I don't want that, but you got the idea. The other option is just to choose an image, and you can choose from your files, your drive, or you can search the web. And what's really cool with this web search, it searches automatically images that are copyright free, that you're allowed to use. So I want everyone to go ahead, take a minute, and pick a page, and then we'll share. I'm going to go ahead and set the timer for, I've got it 15 minutes, but maybe we'll do like 10 minutes. So go ahead and have a little fun. And then as the teacher, you can kind of keep an eye on what people are doing. Oh, let me get rid of that.
Okay, Andrea, do we need to log in first? Because I keep getting to my login page, not a
Oh,
join.
yes, I'm sorry.
Okay. So,
I don't, you do.
Okay.
Mine,
so
yeah.
do it as a student or?
No, go in as a teacher.
Okay, I was
a teacher login. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for asking. Sorry about that.
No, I'm like, okay. You know, some of them have a join a quiz, join or whatever at the top. So.
Yeah.
All right. Or being a pain. Go.
That's the word he used. Are you shitting me? Hold on,
I'm gonna mute everybody. There we go. So yeah, and if you have questions, since we're a small group, just unmute and ask is fine. And like I said, I'm not a Book Creator expert, but I am definitely an enthusiastic user. And we'll talk about some things you can do with it later. But go ahead and pick a page, try and add a few photos, maybe add a few little extra bubbles. I'll have my page up here so you can kind of see. I've added a few extra things, some little stickers. I even put an image on top of an image. So, but do add the images from that template button. That'll help you, it helps the image fit automatically into the space. You can then move it around if you need to, but by clicking this arrow, so I can move it so that it fits the way I want it to fit. You can also enlarge it. I made this obviously really big. Let's see about this one. I think this one didn't quite fit right, so I just chose to have it hanging off the edge because I didn't want my words covered. But any questions while people are working?
I have a question.
Sure.
How can you add more than one picture?
So you have to add, if you use the, let me go to a blank page. I'll go down here to the end. So if you add a picture this way, right, inside the frame, You can just, if I want flowers, I can, or here, I'll do this. There you go. Select edit. If I want to add another picture on top of that, if I want to layer, I could even layer my Bitmoji on here. You would go to the plus screen, the plus button, and then you have options. You have like these speech bubbles, which are kind of fun. But to the left, you have media, and media lets you import pictures from anywhere or use your camera. There's also a pen and a text tool. There's also, and this is my favorite, the record button. Because after I had students create their pages, I had them record themselves talking about their pages. So let me just demonstrate that really quick. Start recording. Hi, this is Andrea, and I just love flowers. Flowers are so beautiful. They make me smile when I see a field of flowers. If you've never been out to Joshua Tree in the spring, it's definitely worth the drive. And then you can listen to it or whatever. And then it gives you a little speech bubble, which you can then put somewhere. And I had to tell the kids, make it obvious, because I had kids that were like hiding it. And then I didn't know that they had done it. So, make it kind of obvious. You could just do that if you wanted, right? You can also add shapes, which are kind of fun. So if you want a background, there's lines. And then if you want to change anything, so say I put this rectangle in, that's kind of boring, right? Maybe I want it. If I do, whoops, if I do the eye is where you can change. This gives you tons of options. Oh, I guess I hit the background there, not the. And I honestly, when I start with the kids, I just let them play with it. They can do whatever they want, however they want it. I can pick any color, right? I can change the color. Apply. I don't know why I'd want that. This is a text box, so I can type in it in this purple. But I really just let the kids play and let them discover stuff for themselves, and then kind of like you're doing, ask questions. But you're asking about adding a picture, so I can just add something right on top and I can layer. Other questions? So, okay, how do you store the books when you're done? When you're done, you're going to publish your book. And then, yes, you can publish it as an EPUB, and you can definitely save the file, although you do have to read it with an EPUB file. What I do is I publish them, and then I put links on my website for the kids to access. How's everybody doing? Let's look at all the pages. Are people creating pages? Are people creating pages?
Trying.
So here we go. Mrs. Garcia, one of my peeps from Mendez. So nice, I like that background. Fourth grade. Fourth grade was one of my favorite grades to teach before I finally graduated to middle school. Kind of not by choice, but now I love it. So you can see as the kids are working, you can see what they're doing. My prompts for the kids, I will tell you I made a mistake, and I said, my family is, and then my example, I said my family is made up of 3 boys and I'm the only girl. And then every single kid did the same thing. I'm like, oh, no, no, no. So my prompt for this year, or for, the fall, is going to be actually my family is, and I'm not going to give them any examples because that kind of messed me up. So I hide this. I hide that. I don't want to stop sharing. I just want to hide this. There we go. That's cool, Cindy. Good job. Oh, I also tell the kids, if I'm going to put this public, not to use their last names. So you'll see on my example that's linked in the presentation that the kids, I took off their last names. But probably for the beginning of the year, I want their last names, and then I'll just go in later and delete them. Because obviously, how am I going to get to know them? I will require a screenshot. I mean, a live photo of them, a snapshot, because I don't know these kids, right? I want to get to know them. So put faces to names, because most of them won't show their faces. Some of them went and actually took pictures of their family. It is also an app, a phone app, so they can put it on their phone and walk around and take pictures that way. Some ideas I've seen is teachers doing scavenger hunts, giving the kids a list of 5 things, and they literally walk around with their phones or their computers and take pictures of those objects, or find online pictures if they want. So I like Cindy's got a bunch of pictures that she's adding. Liz has got a good graphic in there, that kind of fun. But you can see how even just this quick, we're already getting to know each other. And the only person in this room that I know in person is Teresa. Right? But yet I'm getting to know you, and distance learning, this is going to be huge, huge. And I know a lot of people are concerned about it, but honestly, for my summer program, it wasn't as big of a problem as I expected. All right, any other questions? Let's see. Oh, yeah, you can, if you want a picture to fill in the whole background, start in your template, do the background picture, select it from inside this box. And then for the second picture that's going to overlay on top, that's where you use the plus button. Okay, and media. I don't know why the default is not media, but well. And there is that pen if you want to try it. It's kind of fun. And of course you can delete whatever, undo it if you don't like it, and hit done. It's rather intuitive actually. Once you realize that info lets you change things, and there's paper, there's borders, there's patterns, there's everything. And this of course is only one template. There's so many. If you look at these panels, but yet there's not so many that it's overwhelming for the kids, which is nice. Because, you know, we have some kids that are so big on design and they'll spend an hour picking out their font, right? And we really want to focus on the creation. That's the other reason that I give them a time limit. I read a really great article that talked about you never give kids plenty of time. And I think Kim mentioned this as well. It's in the Edge of Protocols book. Because just like you and I, what are we going to do? We're going to wait to the last minute and do it. You give them just enough time. So I think I gave the kids 15 minutes and they were able to knock this out.
Nice.
So it doesn't take that long. Other questions? How's everybody doing? Go back and look at everybody's pages. I think we'll do about 3 more minutes. All right, so we're gonna go, I'll go back here. All right, so here's Teresa Garcia. Here's Lisa. Hello, Lisa. Oh, that's so beautiful. Kayaking. Where do you teach, Lisa? You said 4th grade. All right. Oh, and I can see this on this page.
And I had to get back to turn on my microphone. I teach 4th grade in Orangevale at Pershing Elementary.
Oh, okay, wonderful. And look, I can see that Lisa's on this page right now. Do you guys see that in this corner? That's kind of fun. You can see when the kids are working. Chris? Oh, I like your virtual classroom. Very nice. Oh, and you've got your computer there too. Yeah, mine has my real computer. I took a picture of it and then I cropped it down to fit. All right, here's Suni Ray in 3rd grade.
Yep.
I know we teach students, not a grade, but
Yeah.
I know what I mean. All right, let's see if there, whoops, went by somebody too fast. We got Cindy. So how are we doing? I can do the, all right. Carlos, did you figure out how to get a picture to fill the whole background? Did you want the background of the whole page or just in this?
The whole page.
Okay, so click outside of everything else. Go to the eye. and this says page here, and then pick one of these.
Ugh.
Okay, and there's tons. I mean, you can keep arrow around. What's kind of nice is the most recent ones you've used are here. So if you want to go back and use them again, you know, if you want to keep, if you're doing a whole book, that's your own. But those are just colors. I mean, those are just patterns. Here's colors down below. There's borders, textures. So, I mean, like I said, it's a lot, but not too crazy on the paper.
The background won't affect everybody else's page, correct?
Correct. It's only on that student's page, which is nice. Now you can preset it. So if you're doing math, if you wanted to set all the backgrounds as a graph paper, you certainly could do that, or as music. I don't know why you would do that, but you could do a whole page if you're not doing one of these templates. Now the kids can mess up your templates. I will be honest with you. All they have to do is unlock it. Whoops. Oh, maybe not. You gotta figure out which one is the unlock button. Oh, maybe this one I did lock the right way. Occasionally, some things you can unlock. You just find one of the locks that opens and then you can move it. And I don't know if they can change the panel. Oh yeah, see, they could change the panel if they wanted to. But hey, if they're that creative, that's, you know, that works for me. As long as they're doing the assignment right. So if they had different pictures or they just wanted to, I don't think I had anybody on this one change the panel, but there's all these different ones. Oh, set up a template. I'll show you when we're done. It takes you like a minute and a half, and then you simply duplicate it. Like I said before, though, this Collaborate feature is a paid feature. So start with the free version, the free trial of the Pro account or whatever it's called. Collaborate, see how you like it, and then if you love it, either pay for it or go to Donors Choose or some other, PTA or, Sweet Talk Your Principal or somebody to try and get it. But I'm going to write a Donors Choose for it because I think this is just so important. All right, other questions? All right, I think we're at that 15-minute mark. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to share each page. And if that person would unmute themselves and just share, if you wouldn't mind turning on your camera, I know most people don't like their cameras on, but even with our students, and that's really important. A lot of kids don't want to show their faces, or they don't want to show their background, or it's noisy or dirty or whatever. And I tell them I don't really care. I just want to get to know them. So first up is me. My name is Andrea Earl. My home office, you can see, is a total disaster behind me. We're remodeling, so I've got a couple rooms in here. When I'm not working, I love to launch rockets. I do mentor the Mendez rocket team, and we were kind of bummed we didn't get to compete this year. I love to travel with my family. We like to go new places. This was Puget Sound, and we went whale watching. If you ever go up there, you definitely want to do Maya's whale watching. We found some whales, and we stayed out a couple hours extra following them. It was totally cool. And then I'm also involved in Boy Scouts. And last January, we went to Death Valley. And so it's pretty cool. Up next.
Hi, my name is Teresa Garcia, and when I am not working, I like to make masks. So I've been pretty busy this summer, and I like visiting Yosemite, and unfortunately have not been able to do so because of the pandemic. I teach at Mendez Fundamental. I actually teach math, 7th grade math and 6th grade AVID. And one interesting fact about me is I'm a mom of 3 young men.
Thank you. All right, Lisa.
So my name is Lisa, and I'm not going to start my video because I had some surgery on my nose, and you don't want to see it. And I have to start leaving it uncovered so it's not bandaged right now. So you really don't want to see my video.
Yeah.
But I teach 4th grade at Pershing in Orangevale, and I like to kayak, and I didn't add a whole lot there, but I have 2 sons. So I'm a mom of 2 boys that I haven't seen in a while. So we haven't done much traveling, obviously, lately, and they live out of town. So hopefully we'll get to see them soon.
All right, thank you. All right, Chris.
Sorry. My name is Chris. I teach in the Centralia Elementary School District over by Knott's Berry Farm. What I like to do when I'm not at school is go to hockey games, although this season ended badly. The Ducks actually gave our school a hockey rink, so say what you will about my team, they are very generous. So, interesting thing about me is that I have a three-legged cat. This is not him. I had to find just a Google image, but that's about it.
All right, thank you. Suni Ray?
All right. I'm Sonny Ray, and I teach in Buena Park, so I'm next door neighbors with Chris.
Okay.
I teach 3rd grade. When I'm not working, I like to go to Disneyland, and I'm really bummed that I can't use my pass right now. So, because I usually spend the summer going over first thing and walking the perimeter of both parks and getting my 10,000 steps in first thing. So I haven't got to do that. One interesting thing about me is that I lived in Japan for 2 years. In between college years, I taught English over there for a couple of different schools and lived in a couple of different places. So.
Very cool. All right, nobody here. All right, Cindy.
Okay, so my name is Cindy, and one thing about, well, let me go in order. So the things that I like to do when I'm not working, obviously I have greyhounds, and I like to walk them, rescue our greyhounds, and I like to travel, which again, like she said earlier, we don't get to do, so I'm really missing Hawaii and going to Europe. And I've kind of picked up doing puzzles since we've been doing distance learning and trying not to get bored. And I teach at Travis Ranch, teach 5th grade. And interesting fact about me is that I am a breast cancer survivor.
Yay.
Yay, good job. All right,
Thank you.
fantastic. All right, and this is somebody in the middle, but whoever this is, you want to share? Or was this the one I was messing with? Okay, maybe it was the one I was messing with. All right, Ruthie, is that right?
I'm unmuting me. I don't know what I look like. I just came back from a dog walk. So can you see me? No.
Yep, perfect.
Okay. Okay. So my name is Ruthie. I teach 5th grade at Twin Oaks Elementary in San Diego. Well, San Marcos. And when I'm not working, I like to ride horses and walk my new puppy. And one interesting fact about me is I have 2 grown daughters and a grandma of 2 grandchildren.
Mm.
Wonderful. Wonderful. All right, I think this is the one I was messing with. And then what I would do is I would go and delete the pages that were blank before presenting. All right, Brent.
Hi, my name is Brent Fulmer. I teach 5th grade at Pershing Elementary in Orangeville with Lisa Holland. And when I'm not working, I like to travel. I was lucky enough to get in a trip to Cambodia and Thailand for my 50th birthday right before COVID. And one interesting thing about me is I love to cook.
Oh, very nice. And I see you were creative. You changed the template. Good job. Change things up. Let's see. All right, oh, that's the one I was messing with. Let's see. Anybody else? Jennifer, did you do one? Or, nope. Oh, so I guess, and nobody else did one? All right, so any questions about this process? So I can now, once we're done, I can turn off the collaborative book. I won't do that, so if you want to go in and mess with it, you're welcome to. Obviously, I tell the kids, be respectful, don't mess with anybody else's pages. But in the class, once we're done with the activity, I'll then turn off the collaboration. And I just do that by clicking the collaboration button, stop collaboration, and now nobody can mess with it. When your books are open, you can only have one collaboration open at a time, but that's okay. A book can be an infinite number of pages, and I just let the kids randomly pick a page, but I tell them put your name on it first. So if you see a name, move to another page. So now in primary, you might want to number the pages. I know when I taught elementary school, the kids were numbered 1 through 36, and they would always go to that page. But I number the pages because otherwise, is this page 1? Is this page 1, right? So I might put in the corner, I might put a 1, 2, 3. But honestly, I don't want to do that much extra work. And the kids are pretty good. They're pretty respectful of each other once you say it once. And they will self-police. Okay, what other questions came up? How did Teresa get all her pictures in the background? Okay, let's go to Teresa's page and look at that. So how did you get your pic? Was this a?
Oh, that was a collage that I had. And then all I did was add the Yosemite on top of the collage.
So there you go.
Yeah,
So
that was a collage.
Collage.
Okay, I was going crazy going, how the heck did she do that? I couldn't figure it out. My daughter goes, it was a collage, Mom.
Yeah, it was a collage.
Okay.
Yeah, it's actually a layout app that you can put on your phone, and then it makes really cool collages.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
All right, other questions. All right, so someone asked, how do you set up a template? So let's go back to my books. You literally go, create a new book, pick your shape, and if you want them to be blank, that's fine. Or if you want to pick a comic template, and that's what I did, I chose, I think it was this one. No, I think it was this one, the 4x3. And you literally click on the one you want. You put your title there. Go to page 2, pick the plus, pick a panel, pick whichever one you want. And then the trick is, once you have that page, you simply duplicate your page. Just copy it. And you just copy it a whole bunch of times. And I always copy more than I have kids in the class. So they have it. Okay. Yeah, so an infinite number of pages in the book. What else?
Do you delete the same way?
Yes, you just pop over here and you hit delete, and you
Okay.
from delete page. Yeah. So, and I always create the title page for the kids. Although if there's a student that's done early, I might say, hey, do you want to fancy up the title page for the class? Let me show you some samples of books, and we can talk about some ideas of things that people have done. I found this online. I can't remember. I think it was in the Book Creator Library because there's a whole bunch of books created. Karen Bosch, I don't know who this person is, but I really thank her. She created this COVID-19 template, and I used it with my summer kids. And she created this whole thing with directions, talking about, the whole idea was the kids created a primary source document, right? They're living through history, something totally unprecedented. So the whole idea was, and I just replaced her picture with mine, but I told the kids, one of the activities we did this summer is they created Bitmojis. I said they had to replace my picture with their own picture, okay? Talking about a primary source document. But then she included all the tutorials. So you have access to this. So if you want to make a copy of this book for yourself, please do. All these tutorials on how to use all these tools are right here. And then here's the directions for the journal. I mean, she did an amazing job. So if I ever meet her in person, I'm going to thank her, but I did. This says add a selfie of yourself. It tells the kids exactly what to do on every page. Make an audio recording. The one thing my kids forgot to do is they didn't delete the directions. So if I do this again, or if I use a template this detailed again, I'll be sure to remind them to delete the directions when they put their own information in. What things they did and didn't like about online school. I mean, it goes on and on, but drawing a mask, they used the drawing tools. Also, some kids just took pictures and popped them in there. So a verse or saying, this I thought was the most amazing. The things the kids said was just so cool. The sayings they found. A lot were lyrics from songs, but this really helped me get to know the kids. It just shocked me. some of the sayings that they felt were important. Things they do at home. And again, this was a way for me to connect with the kids, right? Keep going. 3 things that you want to do when the outbreak's over. This was very telling as well. Nearly every kid said, hang with their friends. Message to your future self. I didn't go over this with them ahead of time, but I think I need to give them a little front loading in the future. Because I don't know, the messages weren't as robust as I would have liked. This one was cool though. Ask your mom, dad, or another adult to write a message. And some of the parents took this super seriously, and some wrote in Spanish, and it was really nice. So the kids all have copies of this. I said, 20, 30, 40 years from now, and you've got kids and they're studying about the COVID-19 pandemic, you're going to pull out your primary source document. And they kind of all rolled their eyes, but they're going to think about it. So, and then they have more pages if they wanted to add more stuff. Any questions about that? All right, and they can do everything here they want. They can add media, speech, shapes, they can do background colors, everything. They can record anything they want. All right, so how do you make
Andrea?
Yeah.
I'm assuming that you made this available for each student.
Correct.
So do you assign a book to a student? How do you make sure that other students don't mess with my book that I created?
Yeah, good question. Actually, when it's an individual book, only that student has access to it. So what your students are going to do is that you're going to tell them to go find the COVID-19 journal. They're to click on the share button, and I actually walked them through this during a live lesson. They need to make a copy. Wait a minute, I lied. Yeah, sorry, I was on the wrong button. The little book library, and they copy the book.
Oh, okay.
And when they copy, I see the first thing you do is you put your name on it. But you'll see when I copy, and I'm going to put this, I made this summer PD, which is the library we're all sharing, but you might want to put it into your library. So actually, everybody do that right now. Go ahead and do that. Click on the books. Click on copybook, and then put it in the My Books library. And you're going to see it's going to pop right in.
Will
Now,
that be available to us when we're no longer in the student account?
Oh, you signed in as a student?
Oh, I wasn't.
Yeah, you're supposed to sign in as a teacher. But you know what? You have my presentation with the code. So just come back in as a teacher.
Okay.
And the code is still good. I won't close this until the end of summer. When school starts, since the free account only has one library, I will need to archive this bookshelf, but I won't do that till middle of August. So you have time. But I tell the kids, first thing, change your name. And change your name here. Double click, change your name. But the truth is, when an individual student makes a copy, only that student can access that book. So I would get emails, Mrs. Earle, I can't get into my book. And I would look, I go, it's not your book. Try a different one. So, and if they didn't put their name, they'd have to try them all until they found the one that was theirs, right? All right, so let's talk about some other, so these are really cool. These were, that, yes, would be an individual book. Someone asked what you do when you're done. So actually, one really cool thing, this button up here is the read the book button. Check this out. Now it looks like a book and the kids can read through it. Now I do encourage the students, and depending on the lesson, to either read the text that they created or to narrate their stories, because that really helps with their English language development. Even for our fluent English kids, they need more opportunities to talk. And we know in a classroom with 40 kids, well, that's what we have is 36 to 40 kids in a class. You can't listen to every kid talk every day, even in person, let alone online. So this is a great way to listen to them. Some ideas from other teachers is a science journal where the kids would record their science lessons, and the teacher sets up a template that has the experiment, the hypothesis, the analysis, you know, on like a 2-page spread. So the kids can record, and all year long they keep going back to the same science journal and they record things digitally. In elementary school, I've seen teachers post a piece of text and the kids practice reading it using that record button. Well, how many times do you think the student is going to actually read that text and record themselves? Right? Multiple times. Whereas if you just sent home a book or sent home a piece of, you know, a text and said, read to your parents, they would read it once maybe. But if they have to record it, first of all, there's the accountability. But very few students want to turn in a bad job. So they're going to read it over and over and over again. And that really helps the fluency. Another trick, and this came from a study, actually from San Diego, years and years ago when iPods first came out. University of San Diego did a research study, and they found that students that were struggling readers, if you gave them the text to read, you provided the adult reading the text, you know, the teacher, but then you provided a similar peer, a fluent peer reading the text. The kids listened to that peer more times than to the adult, and then recorded themselves to emulate that peer. Because kids know they can't really emulate us, right? Because our voices are different, we modulate differently, but they can emulate their peers. So I've seen elementary teachers that will go in and post in each individual student book the text and the recording. And it takes a little while, but they would add one every week, or they would do a group book and each student had their own page. But just another way to help develop fluency in reading and speaking. What else? I mean, if you Google book creator ideas, or if you go to the book creator website, there's tons of ideas of fun things you can do. But it's all actively engaging your students.
Andre, I just wrote this in the chat, but if a student makes a copy like the journal, does that become one of your counted books in your library?
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay, so yeah. I was looking at the plans and trying to see, okay, if they all had something they were working on, how many of those could we do?
Yeah, that's kind of the problem.
Okay.
So you can see that I have you always have my library, and you get 40 books in there. And then I have my summer PD library. I can't create my library because I can only have one active library at a time unless I upgrade. But I have my previous libraries here. So I archived them. So over the summer, one of the things we did, let's see, here's all the COVID journals the kids did. And one of my students, for her final project, she decided they did family research. They researched their family history, and she decided to do it in Book Creator. And I can still, wait, I can't open it. I can download it. Download this copy to my books. Did she not publish it? Okay, maybe it's not published. All right, I'm going to copy it to my books. Let's open it that way, maybe. I know there's a trick to this. Here's her family tree. And the slides were created in Google Slides, actually. A lot of the kids created videos. To share a book, you go to the share screen and you publish online. And this is better than downloading it as an ebook, because if you publish online, you publish book. Let me take her last. Oh, I guess it doesn't really matter since her name's all over the book. You're going to get a link, and you can copy the public link, and I will just copy this to a spreadsheet so I have them all, or I have the kids put them on a spreadsheet, or we use Canvas in Santa Ana, so I would just have the kids copy that link and paste it into Canvas for their assignment. But then I collect all those links and I can put them in a document or on a web page so everybody can read everybody else's book. That make sense? Mm-hmm. So we can read it online. And this is the link would just take them to this page. So
if you publish them to links and then you deleted that book from the library,
Oh, I
would it
love
still
that.
be accessible?
that is a really good question, and I don't know.
Okay.
I've never, I guess I don't delete the books. I just archive, but this is archived. If she had, I'm pretty sure she published this link and I'm just not seeing it. But isn't this cool? I mean, she went all out, made a timeline and a tree. It was pretty fun.
Very cool.
I was thinking of maybe this year using them, since I teach math, as a math journal, and like once a month they could pick, you know, like the problem of the month, or, you know, a Mars task, and put it in and show their work and explanations. And some of it could just be a photo, but to kind of see their growth throughout the year, I think would be really cool. But yeah, with limited to 40 books for the free account, you do have to be a little judicious on what you're doing. But I did publish the book where they shared about themselves on the website that we used for the course. So they have access to it and they could look through. The second activity in that is they then had to pick 3 different people and ask them questions about what they learned about them. And then the other student had to respond, and to kind of extend that activity a little bit further. But obviously you can see it's limitless. People have written entire books, teachers have written entire books in Book Creator and just shared them with their classes. You know, you could make a guide to Avid strategies, Mrs. Teresa, all right?
Yay.
And then share that with all the teachers, and all the teachers would have access. And what's cool is all the links in the book are active. So that's a little more fun than a slides presentation. I mean, slides are great, but it's just another way to share, right? Something a little more engaging. I know a teacher that did back to school night. She made a book and each kid had their own page and linked to their different work. So the child had a video on their page, had a picture of themselves, had a link to a book report that they had done in, I think it was in slides, but linked to different work so it was a portfolio. And she did it as a whole class portfolio, but you could have individual student portfolios, right? And it can link out to other stuff. So you don't have to import every item in here, but you can just link out to them.
So Andrea, I have a question.
Yes.
Like with the COVID journal that you did, and they each got a copy of it.
Yes.
So then they each need an account with Book Creator?
Yes, they create a free student account.
Okay.
And do that, if you saw that, let me come back over here. You can give students logins by QR codes if you want, especially for your younger students.
Okay.
If you're using iPads or phones, they can just create accounts this way.
Okay, so we need our account whether it's paid or not paid, and then they also need their account.
Correct.
Does it have a link to Google Classroom feature so we could import our class list, or no? Because I noticed we can log in using our Google login. So
yeah. Let's see, if your students don't have a Google account, you can generate accounts here. Oh, if they don't have Google accounts, so they can use.
So, good. Okay.
There you go.
Awesome.
So
that just makes it so much easier, because then you're not spending 12 hours typing everything in, you know.
So, and there's so much.
I have a colleague who uses it with her deaf students. So the videos of her signing are right there.
Oh, wow.
Nice. There's so an infinite number of uses. I just think it's so much fun and it's so engaging, and the kids really, I've used this for several years with, not with my math students, but I teach exploratory as well, which is basically a kind of a skills class. You know, it's fun, but teaches a lot of, you know, computer literacy, and so I can pick whatever topics, and the kids really enjoy it. Also, under your login, there's a knowledge base. So tons of resources here, tons. But do sign up for the 90-day free plan before you pay. And I do like, this is one of the things I like, down here it says, I've got 58 days left of my plan. So I like that because otherwise you don't remember and then it stops working the day you need it. Other questions? What else? All right. And yeah, it counts towards your library. All right, so I wanted to show Book Creator because I just think it's just so cool. Oh, class poetry. The kids, my summer students did poetry and we were gonna put it in Book Creator, but we only had 3 weeks and just ran out of time. But I wanted to show you, oh, did I put that? Okay, that connecting with your students, you can use this really engaging app, but there's some other really simple ways to do it. And most of you are elementary, but so this might be a little more comfortable for secondary, but maybe not, I don't know. We do this activity called Uncommon Commonalities. Well, we do the Iron Chef. I know Kim talked about, no, I'm sorry, Frey or a Friend. And I know Kim talked about that, where 2 people interview each other and then they share each other. And with distance learning and 40 kids, that's just going to be impossible to manage. So instead, in our math classes, we divide the kids in groups of 4. I modified this template so that they're going to actually interview each other in their group of 4. I don't know, I may change the questions if anybody has better ideas, because these are kind of boring. But the idea is that each student, and our students have roles in their group of 4. So based on their role, they would have a square. They would answer the questions just by typing in. And then as a group, they would come up with some things they all have in common. And then one person in the group is going to report out to the whole class online, obviously. For breakouts, since we use Canvas, we're going to be using the Big Blue Button, which creates breakout rooms super, super easily. And you don't have to put kids where you want them. You just, if I have 10 breakout rooms, group 1 goes to 1, group 2 goes to 2, and so on. So it's going to be really easy. I do have the directions down here. Feel free to make a copy, revise. And if you have suggestions, please, because always looking for ways to, connect.
Could that be imported into Book Creator then?
Absolutely. Sure.
So would you make that slide a JPEG and bring it in? How do you do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and so a lot of my students created, they created in slides, or drawings, Google Drawings, because you have a lot more flexibility,
Mm-hmm.
and then they brought it in, and then they added those, the POW and the BAM and stuff on top, to make it a little more fun, and then the colors and stuff. And that kind of saved them having to go to somewhere like Slides Carnival to find cool backgrounds and stuff. It was kind of already there for them. However, though, if you're going to do it in Book Creator, you definitely want to do file, page setup. You don't want to do the widescreen. You definitely want to do the 4x3 and then pick the 4x3 book.
Okay.
Right? Because otherwise, that's what my student, you saw that she had all that white space on the top and bottom. If I'd known she was doing that, I would have made the suggestion, but I didn't know. That was all her. But yeah, so use the correct size, and then it'll fill the book. And then obviously you're not going to use a template. You'll just use blank pages, bring in the image. But the kids can also, you saw how that you can take a picture in Book Creator.
Mm-hmm.
They can just take a picture, of their work if they're doing an experiment or if they built something. My exploratory kids had to invent something at home using stuff they had around the house. And they just used their phones, and some of them turned their Chromebooks around and took a picture. But it was super cute and very creative, very creative. Okay, the last one I want to show you is Iron Chef. This came from Midnight Pedagogy. If you're not familiar with them, go on Twitter. They meet like every night at 10 p.m. I try to go on, but I'm too tired by then.
Wednesdays are at 8.
Yeah, Wednesdays are earlier. So I feel guilty because my husband doesn't get home till 7. But so I got this idea from them. And then my friend Melissa Hero, no, was it Melissa? I think it was Melissa Hero. Oh, no, it was Kristen Morales who redesigned it for cartoon editions. So I'm just going to show you. This was so much flippin' fun. And, you talk about when you introduce a new tool, you want the content to be super accessible. either review or fun, it's random, super accessible. Well, what's more accessible than cartoons, right? So before I actually teach them the formal Iron Chef protocol, this is what I used. And I totally stole this from the Midnight Pedagogy from Ed Campos and company. So they literally, as a group, they picked a cartoon, and I actually did modify this for middle school. I took off a few of these and put in Dora and Dora the Explorer and Steven Universe, because I didn't think a couple of these were appropriate. They get the Giphy add-on to Chrome, and they are writing an episode of this particular cartoon as a quarantine. The theme is quarantine. So you start out with, and some of them did put the opening theme, which was kind of fun of their cartoon. What happens? Oh no, shelter in place. SpongeBob is freaking out. He's hurrying home. He's cleaning everything. He stopped to buy Clorox on the way because he wants to kill all those germs, And then what happened? The struggle is real. What happened? And they have to tell the story. And they go through. And this was a great way to build team building, because while the kids each worked on their own individual slide, only one student got to present. And that was the mistake I made the first time I did it, is I let everyone present their own slide. So there wasn't that cohesive story. So the second time, it was one person will tell the story for the group. So meanwhile, the group in their small groups, they had to not only add the images, but they had to think of the story and what was happening. Okay. And then I split off these templates individually. So each group had its own mini slides presentation that linked back to the main one, if that makes sense. But it was a great way for kids to get talking. And this isn't a true Iron Chef, right? But it gets the idea of a group working together, sharing the work, but communicating and collaborating to come up with a final product. And so it was a great introduction to that EDGE protocol. And there are some little notes that the guys have put in on below what to do. And I actually leave, I don't know if you guys do this, but I'll put in notes for the kids down below in the speaker notes, and I show them how to access those. Sometimes I'll also put notes in the margins for them to use, because it doesn't show when you're presenting. So we're a little over our hour, so sorry. Let me hit back. And well, my last thing is I created a Padlet for people to share ideas, but honestly, I think there's few enough here. So if anyone else has ideas of things that you would like to do, or you're thinking of doing to help connect with your kids and help them connect with each other, please unmute and we'll take 5 minutes to share and, better together, getting ideas. Anybody have ideas of things they want to try?
I wanted to try the book creator. That was so awesome. I can't wait to use it with my Avid students. So thank you, Andrea.
My pleasure.
I really struggled getting them to talk at all or turn on their camera. So something like this would be a low risk way for them to participate. So I like it.
Absolutely. And it's funny because my summer program, one of the requirements was they had to turn on their camera. I mean, I just made that a requirement. But I had a girl, she was constantly dancing, and I'm like, oh my God, just turn off your camera. So, it was a win. It was a double-edged sword. But yes, they all turned on to share.
Good.
Unless they didn't have a camera. So, anybody have other ways, things that I haven't even talked about that you're thinking of using, or maybe you'd like to use, either a great idea or an idea you'd like help with? Because, we're all here to support each other. Any thoughts?
I'm just thinking, go ahead.
Sorry, I love the idea of the collaboration piece, because the one thing I'm kind of frustrated right now with is for our primary grades, we're using Seesaw, and it's hard to use the EDGE protocols that are collaborative in that. There's no collaboration way, at this point in Seesaw. So getting them logged into 42 other things, but sending them a link to this and having them collaborate on their slide or whatever. I think that would work. You just have to play around with the format a little bit, but
Yeah, you could put, because you could create your template in slides and then just
Yeah.
save JPEG, pop it in.
yeah, I'm just thinking like the cyber sandwich one, if there was, instead of them both having the pages that they usually have, you know, that there's something less, but yeah. So
I saw someone did a paper cyber sandwich.
I saw that the other day. Yeah, yeah.
That might work really well here because they each take notes on their own side and then they compare in the middle.
Yeah,
And you could do that on one slide.
yeah, yeah. So we'll see. I don't know. Gonna play now.
And I've seen some teachers, when you're doing like, if one group has like 2 or 3 slides to complete, she'll color code the slides. So
Oh,
group 1 has 3 green slides. Group 2 has 3 blue slides. And they can do anything except change the color.
right. Because
Right.
then it confuses the system.
Exactly. So, but she's done that so they're all in one. I've seen that in Google Slides presentations, so they know which are theirs to work on, but
Mhm.
yet they're all in the same place. So,
I like
you know. Other ideas, other things.
I was thinking of how easy it would be to have interactive notebooks with this. Just, you know, I teach Greek mythology and I have a million resources, and it's always a fortune to, you know, do all the copying. So this would make my life so much easier.
Mm-hmm. And once you created your textbook or your, you know, lesson book, you'd always have it too.
True.
Instead of copying, you know, a laundry list of lessons. It's actually a really good idea to put it together. And I'm sure you'll find examples, Brent, if you look on, if you go to bookcreator.com, there'll be examples of teachers that have done that. There's some books that people have created that don't even look like, you know, I'm surprised that they're created in Book Creator. They're so sophisticated, you know. I'm not at that, but. Any other ideas, questions? I'm gonna go ahead and stop.
I could see using the Book Creator for science experiments as well. I was thinking Flipgrid, but it would be really easy for me to present something, have the recording there, and then their response on the page as well.
Oh yeah. That's a great idea. Yeah, the problem with Flipgrid is you can't put something next to it, right? And this they could totally, they cannot, in Book Creator, they cannot record their voice and they can't do live video. They can import a video, but they can't do live video. But even just your voice, you know, giving directions is so huge. So, all right, I am going to stop the recording, but if anyone wants to hang out, welcome to hang out and chat. Oh, I don't know how to stop the recording. Hang on one second. No, stop video. Anyone know how to